I rise to address the Youth Justice Bill 2024, a bill brought to this place by the government for consideration. A rather large bill, Acting Speaker. This is but volume 1 of the bill. Many words over many pages, but the fundamental question that I would like to pose to the chamber this afternoon, Acting Speaker, is this: do any of these words over these many pages do anything substantial or substantive to keep our community safer, and to give our community not just a sense of safety, but to protect them from crime, to protect them and their families from crime that many Victorians have been victim of, more so in recent times? At the outset, Acting Speaker, I'd like to say to members of Victoria Police, we respect you. We are grateful for the work that you do to keep our community safe. We respect you and we honour you for the sacrifice, the personal sacrifice that you take, the personal sacrifice on you and your families to do everything you can to uphold the right, to uphold the law in Victoria and to keep our communities safe. We deeply respect Victoria Police. Unfortunately, Acting Speaker, I contend, and my colleagues do as well, that Victoria Police, in terms of our current situation with crime in this state, is not the problem. The problem is a system around Victoria Police to support them to do their work, to catch the crooks, to bring them to justice, and to, where found guilty, deal with them in an appropriate way, whether that be locking them up or putting them on programs to make our community a safer place. Now, I fully support, Acting Speaker, the member for Berwick's reasoned amendment. I think it's entirely appropriate for the member for Berwick, the Shadow Minister for Police, to bring this reasoned amendment for the chamber's consideration. And it is true, Acting Speaker, that in this bill, these many words over many pages, some things are simply not addressed, some things have simply not been considered, and that's why the member for Berwick, in his reasoned amendment, is asking for a comprehensive, fully developed and fully funded program to target and divert at-risk individuals and cohorts of young people, to prevent crimes occurring, for community safety concerns about the current level of youth crime in Victoria to be addressed, and for there to be further assessment of and consultation on more binding powers to manage young people where it is deemed their behaviours pose a risk to the safety of others as well. Eminently sensible proposal brought to this chamber by the member for Berwick, which I fully support. Now, Acting Speaker, sometimes in this place, sometimes in politics generally, we speak about numbers and we speak about statistics, and frankly, these numbers and these statistics do not lie. Crime data is quite clear. There has been a 20% increase in criminal incidents by youth offenders. Aggravated burglaries have increased by 18.4% last year, a 146% increase since 2014. What else happened in 2014, Acting Speaker? But the Allan Labor government, the former Andrews government, was elected to govern in this state, and since they were elected, there has been a 146% increase in aggravated burglaries in this state. Now, in July this year, the Deputy Premier, the member for Niddrie, claimed that Victoria has some of the toughest bail laws in Australia, but I challenge the Deputy Premier, Acting Speaker, respectfully, but I challenge him all the same. Deputy Premier, please come into this place and demonstrate to this place, demonstrate to the Parliament, demonstrate to the Victorian people how, in fact, Victoria has the toughest bail laws in the country. That is simply untrue, Acting Speaker. It is simply untrue. As we discussed earlier today in addressing the member for Malvern's bill to strengthen bail laws in this state, it's quite clear that earlier this year, in March this year, the Labor government weakened Victoria's bail laws, and frankly the state has not recovered since. We need to strengthen bail laws, Acting Speaker. The amount of crime that has occurred since the weakening of those bail laws is absolutely abhorrent. Absolutely abhorrent. Now, Acting Speaker, Earlier today, I drew attention in the chamber to some of the notes that I've received from constituents. I want to read into Hansard an email I received from Lee, and I'll make it available to Hansard at the end of my contribution. Lee writes to me, "The first attempted aggravated burglary of our residence occurred on the 9th of October 2021. 3 youths came to our door at 10:50 p.m. and attempted to enter our house through several entry points. We caught them on our CCTV footage. Sadly, this report was disregarded as they felt the group were children. The second instance occurred on the 13th of May 2022 at 2:20 a.m. 2 stolen vehicles full of masked youths in hoodies arrived and again attempted to enter our house and vehicles. Again, were unaware of this until the next morning." The email goes on. Next was the 21st of April 2023 at 2:13 a.m. Various vehicles arrived at our house and a group of hooded and masked youths amassed, attempting entry to our house and vehicles. Again, fortunately, they did not persevere with their attempts and left. On the 12th of June 2023 at 6:25 p.m, 2 youths entered our property and attempted to enter one of our cars. I spotted them immediately and my husband went out to confront them. He caught one of them, attempting to scale a neighbour's fence. When they confronted the kid told him he was, quote, "just having a look," and calmly walked away. Lee goes on. The most recent entry attempt came at 3:47 a.m. on the 15th of February 2024, just a few months ago. 2 hooded, masked and gloved youths attempted to enter our house through the front door. By now, we had installed new cameras with sirens, which triggered and caused the offender to flee. Unfortunately, we did not hear the siren, so I could not report immediately. Lee goes on to say, "I cannot stress enough the impact that has had on our mental health. Every morning, the first thing I do is check every camera around our home to make sure nothing happened overnight. My husband and I are hesitant to leave our children at home alone overnight, as although they are now 20 and 18 years old, indeed we initially shielded our daughter, who already suffers from anxiety, from knowledge of the first few events, as we did not want her to be any more anxious. At the third instance, we decided she needed to know for her own safety." Lee concludes by saying, "I hope that this email serves to strengthen any response to the government's current argument that it is a non-existent issue." In this place, Acting Speaker, in the People's House, Lee deserves to be heard. Lee and the story of her family deserves to be recorded in the Hansard of this place. This is why we are here. If it's not to strengthen community safety, then why are we here, Acting Speaker? But I'm sad to say that every indicator over the last 10 years and certainly in the last few months of this year indicates that the Allan Labor government really do have their head in the sand when it comes to the youth crime crisis. Raising the age of criminal responsibility, Acting Speaker, is not the answer. Raising the age of criminal responsibility is not the answer. Weakening bail laws, Acting Speaker, is not the answer. I encourage members of the government, Acting Speaker, to stop the denial, to actually understand and listen to the community about the concerns, the legitimate concerns that they have, and act appropriately to deal with it. I'm sad to say, Acting Speaker, the Youth Justice Bill 2024, again, many words, Acting Speaker, over many pages, does little, in my view, to address the legitimate concerns of people like Lee in my community and more broadly Victorians. Acting Speaker, there is a better way. There must be a better way. And, some of the things that the government could be considering, some of the things that the government could be looking at, we could be looking at, for example, Japan, where young people diverted from the justice system can attend small-scale specialised schools where their bespoke needs are met. We have programs like the David Scott School, who do an amazing job. But they just don't get support from the government. There's the Cheshire Foundation, as mentioned before, targeting the highest risk young people, using departments, local government and non-profit organisations to find best options to prevent these kids entering the system. There are other options. Of course, ideally, young people shouldn't enter the justice system in the first place, but frankly, until this government recognises and acknowledges that they've got to be doing more than they're currently doing to get on top of this problem, nothing will change.